This is Gilgamesh. I want to talk about this whole thing, what we're hearing. First, let's talk about this. Trump. Okay, I talked about it before. Paramount's the only company that can buy it. And the only company that's going to be allowed to buy Warner Brothers. And I'll explain, yes, the Saudis are helping Dave Ellison. They are giving him money to buy Warner Brothers. And Dave Ellison has said, either you'll accept our offer or we're going to hostily take over. This will happen, and it will make it through because it's who you know, it's not the money you have. Here's a problem. The reason this will be a problem for Netflix is because film studios, and Netflix is not a film studio. They are not part of Hollywood. Companies, when they have to, annually report they have to put out, their financials, how much money they made, lost and all this stuff. Netflix does not do this. They keep this behind closed doors, and that's a problem, because if you understand, when Skydance went to buy Paramount, they had to they had to show everything to the regulators, which is the FCC. They have to open their everything and show all of, and Paramount had to show how much money they owed, that they couldn't pay this off. That's why they were offering to let Skydance, who had the money to buy it. Yes, with, of course, his father's help, financial help, was able to buy Paramount. And so that went through quickly because Trump came in and they said, boom. They knew this, as soon as Trump got in the deal, it may have happened under Biden, but the deal was done. Now, we can talk about EA. It's not being directly bought by Silver Lake, a Saudi company, because they won't let that happen. It's actually Jared Kushner's company, and Silver Lake is going to be like a partner. But it will be run by Jared Kushner's company, not by the Saudis. So calm down. And the reason here is, yes, this government, investors are going to invest in America, which means they're going to put capital in companies like Paramount, not because they want to take them over, not kind of like what Tencent has done with, what they've done. It's because they want to make sure that the Hollywood survives. Well, Netflix isn't exactly a studio in the sense of they only put their movies in theaters right now because they're hoping to get Oscar nominations for Frankenstein, for their Knives Out. But they really don't like doing this. They want to stream everything. Plus, another problem is, where does Netflix money come from? It isn't just for streaming. Who are the investors investing in Netflix? Because they had to take how much money from in the deal that they made with the WWE? Billions of dollars, and they have not recouped a penny on that deal. They've been losing money because the deal guaranteed. It benefited WWE. Yeah. It didn't benefit Netflix. And instead of Netflix guaranteeing that the content had to be good, they took the money, Netflix, WWE, and they have to put good content out. And that's why it's all crap and people are not watching. Now, David Ellison's father is Larry Ellison, Oracle. He and Trump are friends. He also knows the Saudis, yes. Larry Ellison does business with the Saudis. Do you understand? Get the picture? Saudis, he went to them and talked to them, and silently he is a part of Palantir, who runs your government. As Whitney Webb said, Palantir runs our government. They try to ruin her career. They can't. So, this is why Trump comes out with this statement. Netflix pushes to buy Warner Brothers Discovery as Trump signals support for Paramount. They're telling you, Warner Brothers can't. This deal will never be approved. It's DOA. As I'll show you what David Ellis said. The reason is now comes antitrust, and this is the problem with Netflix. Nobody knows anything about this company. And the deal will never be approved. The regulators will never approve the merger with a company like Netflix, just like Comcast. This will never happen. And then you get the problem with Netflix is, where does their money come from? See, anybody who thinks Warner Brothers is going to be in the hand of Netflix is a fucking moron. There's a big problem for Netflix. They would have to, and this is why David Ellison warned Warner Brothers, the deal is dead on arrival. He knows you can't sell to Netflix. One, there will be an antitrust pulled on Netflix. The moment this happens, because they are not a film studio, they're the outsiders. Yes, I use that reference. And the thing here is, Trump even said they would bring antitrust against Netflix. Netflix keeps their money secret. They do not put out their fucking financials of their how much money they make, where their money comes from. Nobody knows how Netflix funds every project. It can't be, they're not making the money on streaming. People have quit Netflix. People signed up because of WWE and then they unsubscribed. A lot of people did. When the whole thing, it came out that, oh my God, because when they initially said, we're going to try to buy Paramount, what happened? Elon Musk came and hit Netflix with, they have a bunch of tranny shit on over one cartoon. People unsubscribed. Yes, they don't have the money. They're not going to, and this is the problem. They're not going to, it's never going to go through regulators. It will absolutely be dead on arrival. It's going to be bought by Paramount. And David Ellison has no power to, it will never make it through regulators, and Netflix will hit with antitrust, and it'll be the death of their company. Trust me, Hollywood hates Netflix. They do. They fucking hate them because nobody knows where their fucking money comes from. No, they're not. David's company is pushing. They will absolutely stop this from, and it will never go through. It will never go through. Nope. Yep. Because of his father and because of Trump and because of Palantir. That's the only, and because of the Saudis. Giving money to David Ellison is saying that they're going to invest in Paramount. They will never invest in Netflix. They don't like Netflix. There's a reason companies, film studios hate Netflix. They don't like to put their stuff in theaters. Also, where does Netflix get their money? That's a problem. They've been very secretive. Every other company has to put out their financials of how much money they make, how much they lose. Netflix is the company that refuses to do this. That's why it's a dead. And Comcast is nowhere in this because it's already been, after what they did to Disney when they tried to think they were going to buy 20th Century Fox. They fucked up in a way that they're never going to be approved either. I told you, David Ellison's company will be the only one to buy Warner Brothers, and they're trying to tell you it will never make it through. Then I've heard whispers. I think I saw somewhere Trump said, we will bring an antitrust case against Netflix. Nobody knows where Netflix money comes from. And there's the big problem. They will have to open everything up, and they've never been honest about shit of their finances, where the money comes from. It isn't from them people, their subscribers. They're not, see, there's a problem with Netflix. Where does the money come from? They're not making the money. All this shit here's the thing, they pay others for content. Okay, they are not a film studio. This is a big problem. They don't know how to run themselves like a movie studio. That's another reason why they're not going to get through this. Netflix will never be approved. No. See, and that's another reason. Netflix does not put out movies to theaters. Theaters are important to film studios, not just here, abroad. Netflix refuses to put their movies in theaters. They're not even internationally putting Frankenstein or the Knives Out. They're not putting their stuff internationally. They're not. It's only here because they want the fucking Hollywood Oscars. And that's the big problem. They're not a company that says, we're going to put, and they're going to face it. They're not going to get it. Deadline doesn't understand. There is no way this goes through because Netflix is not a Hollywood studio. They are from Silicon Valley. They are the outsiders. David Zaslav has no power to sell it. He can make a plan, think, we'll sign on this. This will never survive the fucking government. Trump won't sign off on it. No, Trump. Understand this. In order for the deal to go through, several things have to go. The regulators have to come in, and they have to go through Netflix. There's everything on Netflix to find out where the money comes from. See, that's something people don't understand. In order for this deal, it ultimately has to be signed off by the president. Trump already said he will not sign off on the deal. So the deal is dead in the water. And David Ellison tried to tell him, Warner Brothers, your deal will never be approved by... Trump's already said he will never support this deal. Netflix pushes to buy, and as Trump signals support for... He's always supported Larry Ellison, their friends. He's going to kill this deal. This deal won't survive regulators, and most of all, it will never be approved by Donald Trump or Palantir. So Netflix is wasting their time. And that's why anybody talking about this doesn't understand how these things work. The President of the United States ultimately has to approve it, means sign off on it. Not only does the FCC have to come in and look it over, regulators have to come in. And that means they have to scrutinize everything about Netflix, and that's a problem for a company. It keeps its financials very secretive. They have to open the books up, and they don't have the money. There's a problem at Netflix. They keep saying we have all this cash. Where are they getting the cash from? What countries are funding? It ain't the Saudis, obviously. And so who is funding Netflix? Where are these guys getting? They're not like, Amazon. Netflix started as a streaming site. They started out as DVDs. But the problem is, where does their money come from? They stopped doing DVDs. They stream only. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter. They don't have... If you just take their subscribers, there's not enough of them. Plus the money from WWE. They have not turned a... Frankenstein is a... We don't know how much that movie really cost because Netflix ain't telling you shit. So I don't trust how much they claim it cost. They haven't turned a profit on that damn thing. So this is the problem. We don't know their financials. And that's a problem if they try to go through regular. And Trump's already said he's never going to approve the deal right here. Trump signals support. That means this deal is dead on arrival. So that's what David Ellison's telling you. He's saying it here. The only clear path for this deal for Warner Brothers is through Paramount. Why? Like he says here, company is pushing for regulatory angle hard, insisting its only suitor with a clear path to closing based upon decades of legal precedent, yes, is through Paramount. Why? Right here. This is the biggest thing that kills the deal. Trump. Trump supports Paramount because of his friend Larry Ellison. And the Saudis. The Saudis have told Trump because Larry Ellison has talked to them and they're going to invest in Paramount, means Warner Brothers, you're going to be owned by the fucking Paramount. And it will go through because nothing's going to stop it. Democrats don't have the ability to stop it. And Netflix will never be approved. Trump can never sign this deal. That kills it right there. This is the thing that kills the deal. The president has to sign off. On any merger, it has to be ultimately approved by the President of the United States. And Trump right here tells you it will never happen. It is dead on arrival. So all you people talking about this is all you have to do. This is International Business Times. Netflix pushes to buy. It will never, as Trump signals, and he's made this very clear, he will never support the deal because he is friends with Larry Ellison, whose son is David Ellison. Right here, Netflix, Trump signals support for rival bid from Paramount. Raising stakes in one, it means this will never be signed off on. It doesn't matter what Netflix offers. They will never see this happen. See, if one thing about this idiot right here is David Zaslav is not a studio guy. He doesn't know shit about movies. He doesn't shit about running a film. He ran TV. See, he ran Discovery. He was running Discovery. That's not a movie studio. That's just had cable channels. That was it. That's what he ran. He ran reality TV and all that stuff. Deadliest Catch, all that stuff, Food Network and everything. He has never run a studio, so he doesn't understand how these things work. This moron's talking to all these other companies and doesn't know it will never be approved because here's the killer. Donald Trump will never approve Netflix or Comcast. Like I said, it's not how much money you offer, it's who you know. David Ellison's father's Larry Ellison. Trump and Larry Ellison have been friends for a long time. Yes, and Larry Ellison silently is part of Palantir, who runs your government. And Palantir will never allow any company but Paramount to buy Warner Brothers Discovery, because Netflix is anti-Hollywood. They're anti-studios. They're anti-theater. They only want to stream everything. They never wanted to put Frankenstein in the theater. They were forced to do it if they want to get an Oscar, possible Oscar nod, which I don't think it's going to win. I think it's going to be another film. But that's beside the point. David Ellison understands how these things work, because look what he did. He got Paramount. This is why this moron the deal's dead on the water. Netflix doesn't understand these things work. Most people don't understand this. This is not hard to understand. When your guy right here, this man who's in the president of the United States, tells you, I support Paramount's offer, as David Ellison tried to warn all of you, either accept our deal or it's a hostile takeover. When you have the president in your corner, he's the only one you need, ultimately, because he has to approve everything, sign off on it. Dead on arrival. David Ellison's Paramount insists this deal is dead on arrival. Yes, you know why? Right here. This is it. And anybody looking this, you can look this article up and read it. Trump has already said he supports Paramount's deal. There is no other person. Netflix, you are fucked. Because the moment they open your books, you're going to run into financial problems. Netflix has never been honest about their financials. I've heard other people go, where does Netflix get their fucking money from? We don't know. The government doesn't even know. This is why antitrust comes in. Where is this fucking money coming from? Because if you look at their subscribers, they don't make enough money on the streaming shit to fucking be able to finance everything they do. The money's coming from somewhere, and they've been hiding it. That's why this is a dead issue. This was never going to happen. I try to tell people and I've heard others talk about this, and they seem to understand the deal will never happen. When Trump comes out and says, I support Paramount's deal, you know there is no chance. And this is why when you're not in the film business, like this guy right here, knows nothing about filmmaking. He's not a studio guy. You can tell because he ran TV. When you don't know anything about running a movie studio, that's why everything's been a disaster at Warner Brothers, because David Zaslav is not a fucking guy who knows what the fuck he's doing. That's why the Zack Snyder shit was such a fucking disaster. That's why the James Gunn shit is crap. This man he knows reality TV, he ran the food, he was in charge of the Food Network, everything Discovery, he did a good job with that. But when he came to running a film studio, fucker doesn't know shit about running it. And that's the problem. David Ellison does. He's the guy who runs Skydance. He brought fucking John Lasseter when all the lies about him. Oh, and a lot of women left Pixar and joined joined John Lasseter when he went to Skydance. This is why this deal's only going through this company. Right here. This company is the only one that can buy it. Because, right here. This is all you need to know. Trump said the deal will not happen. He's signaled there'd be antitrust. As this article points out, Netflix has never had to face government scrutiny. Where does their money come from? This is the problem. This is there will be no deal. Paramount's the only company. This is the only company is Paramount. This is the only deal that will be approved right here. Like it says, Trump has said, preference raises stakes. There is no other company that can buy it. When the president is on your side, you're going to win. Netflix has no fucking chance. And this is where they have signaled antitrust on Netflix, because Netflix has never told people where their money comes from. Nobody knows. It's never going to happen. Why are you putting this possibility when it's obvious? Trump will never sign off on it. Streaming platforms have faced raising production costs. Yeah, and fucking Netflix hates putting movies in theaters. They don't want to spend money. There is something going on at Netflix. They got fucked by WWE. They've lost subscribers. Their financials are complete crap. Paramount shows their financials. Netflix has never shown them. They've never opened themselves up to scrutiny. Where does the money come from? That's why I said this is a dead issue. He's right. Paramount is the only company, because right here, this is all you need to know, that this deal right here, the sentence, this right underneath this deal kills it outright, because the president has to sign off on it. Netflix cannot get it because Donald Trump has said he prefers the Paramount deal right here. Yeah, they will never be approved. So, Trump has to sign off on any deal to buy a company. Right here, he said, Donald Trump signals support for rival bid from Paramount. That means this is a dead issue. It will never fucking happen. Netflix, you screwed yourself. You were so anti-Hollywood, you fucked yourself in the ass. Nobody's gonna, and David Zaslav doesn't understand, as a moron who, when it came to Discovery, he did a great job running it. As a fucking guy running Warner Brothers, this company was so had no money. It was broke. The guy who actually owned Discovery, and I don't think it's David Zaslav, made a dumb decision bringing this idiot in. Because he doesn't know how to run a studio. The guy's made every stupid decision he could ever make. The guy has bankrupted. Now, Warner Brothers they're not doing financially well. They're so fucking, they've been broke. They were so fucking financially broke that fucking AT&T sold them off. And only kept the cable part where the money is. They lost so much money. AT&T sold this shitty property, this whole studio off to fucking Discovery. There is no chance, and I mean this with all honesty, it was a dead issue. Paramount is going to own it. This is how you know. Trump is on Paramount's side. The Saudis are investing in Paramount. They're not trying to buy the company. They're invested. Like they said, they don't want to own anything. They're investing in what they think will make money. Paramount's, yes, Netflix, where does the money come from? That's where they run into a problem. They've hidden everything. They've never once told anybody about their financials. This is the problem. If you're being secretive, people are going to go, where does your money come from? They don't tell you. So, yes, this was a dead issue. All these people saying, is it possible? Yeah, report on something when you know. You should know that the president of the United States always has to sign off on the deal. The reason Disney got 20th Century Fox was because Rupert Murdoch, Trump are friends. And because Rupert Murdoch, also, Bob Iger, the three of them said, okay, and Trump said the deal, and got the deal pushed through ahead. They didn't even challenge anything. They said, okay, and Trump signed off on it, and the deal was done. That's how these things are done. If you look at the merger between 20th Century Fox and Disney was so quick, it was signed off before, and Trump just told them, yeah, the deal's through. And the FCC and the regulators said, okay, didn't question anything. But the problem is the money that Disney spent, they haven't recovered from that. And same thing when they bought Lucasfilms. They've lost so much money. They have not been profitable. This company right here, Warner Brothers, is not profitable. And Skydance was profitable. And then they bought Paramount, which was doing financially terrible. They've actually recouped a lot. I think they have been able to recoup some of the money from that. But with help from the Saudis and his father, he was able to get Paramount. Now he's buying Warner Bros. Because Warner Bros. Has no money. And here's what I said before. They are going to accept Paramount because it will never be approved any other fucking way. Enough said. Netflix cannot buy it. Comcast cannot buy it. The Saudis are not trying to buy it. They're investing. And I'll say this. Yeah, James Gunn's done. His crap has lost money for Warner Bros. And David Ellison has watched. There is no chance Zack Snyder's ever coming back after what he did in Netflix. Everything he touches, it turns to shit. He has never turned a profit for fucking Warner Brothers. He never turned a profit for Netflix. Zack Snyder's garbage. James Gunn had one movie he actually was really good, and that was his Slither. That showed he had potential, but he also went down the same path of fucking Abrams and fucking Zack Snyder. He forgot how to do a good movie. Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead was dog shit. George A. Romero shit all over it. Said it was a pile of shit. That's the guy who created the original Dawn of the Dead. Yeah. And as far as the Snyder retards go, his Snyder cut was a new movie. It wasn't even the Snyder cut from his original piece of shit movie, which would have been the work print that, when they looked at it, was unwatchable. There's no way they could put that thing in theater. Zack Snyder stole a credit. Someone at Warner Brothers illegally gave him a credit card where he went on a spending spree. And you can tell the difference between the Justice League movie, because that was what he had filmed, and Joss Whedon had to fix certain things. But if you look at a certain character that he had in Batman v Superman that created the cave troll, yeah, Steppenwolf. If you look at him from that movie to the movie Joss Whedon tried to fix, which was Justice League, to Zack Snyder's Justice League, why did the CGI in Zack Snyder's Justice League look like shit? It looked worse. I mean, Steppenwolf, you could tell, okay, but the Steppenwolf he put in that fucking abomination called the Boar Fest, the Justice League, was so bad, it lost money. They didn't recoup. Oh, people watched, but it never turned a profit. And the fucking thing was, it was a 4-hour boring pile of shit. I heard people trying to justify that garbage. It was shit. Darkseid was kind of crap. Steppenwolf was crap. Everything about it was shit. It was fucking a boring mess of a film. And you had a Samoan playing a fucking European. Look at Aquaman. One of my favorite fucking comic book DC character. I love Aquaman. But if you look at the character in the comic compared to fucking a Samoan, that's what Jason Momoa is. He's a Samoan. Why the fuck is he playing Arthur, the King of Atlantis, who has blonde hair and blue eyes? Oh, yeah, people are like justifying this. Aquaman's a blonde hair and blue eye guy. He doesn't have long hair except for the crappy later on when they gave him long hair and he lost a hand. What the fuck was that? Yeah, they did Aquaman 64. What the fuck? And Ben Affleck can't act. He sucks on a level. I love the suit, but fuck this movie. But yeah, getting back to this. This fucker has made terrible decisions. He isn't a film, he is not a studio guy. He's a guy who runs reality TV networks on cable, for cable. Didn't know the fuck what he's doing. David Ellison, he's the guy that knows how to run a studio. He's smart, he's educated. This guy's an idiot. And that's why this deal was never going to go through. So I just want to bring that up. It's a dead issue. It's stupid. People are idiots thinking, oh, my God, it's going to happen. No, it won't. Trump already said he will not support it. He will not sign off on it. It's a dead issue. This is Gilgamesh. I will talk to you later. Bye.